Bethany Manctalo here. Welcome to our Millwall fan show with some new voices, but the same focus. Just everything Millwall. Enjoy!
Welcome to the 2024-25 series of Millwall No One Likes Us Talking's Our Millwall Fan Show. I'm your host, Eamonn Barclay, and with me I have the team and the No One Likes Us Talking team of Debbie Julians, Steve Warren and Ted Robinson.
Not everybody likes them, but they don't care.
Well, after watching Kramer step up for Tanganga without any downside in the game and Ivanovic getting both goals in our win at Saturday, we all look set for a trip in midweek to Sheffield. Outside of the pitch, Pompey manager this week, Mr. Mousino, was outraged by the stadium staff and officials' failure to address the use of discriminatory language. Tuesday came and it was 3 wins out of 4 as we defeated the Blades at Bramall Lane. So, those are the big things. But what next? Steve, what did you make of the post-match view about Ivanovic by Alex Neil?
Well, I mean, he was right. I think he's come on a bundle. He's stepped straight in. He's scoring. For me, I think he scored the goal of the season with that header on the ground. I think that, that just shows that he's willing to do anything to get the ball in the back of the net. If we can keep him, he'll certainly be there amongst some of our big goal scorers going forward. Definitely.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I remember some other player called Teddy Sheringham doing the same at an early age. And I think Ivanovic could emulate Ted Robinson, Ted Sheringham over time if we're going to hold on to him.
I hope he's better than me, Eamonn.
I reckon he would be. God, blimey. Anyhow, good evening, Ted.
Evening, Eamonn.
A night in the City of Steel. What did you think about their armour and our win?
I thought that was probably on par with our best performance of the year the other night, because Sheffield United, they was trying to bounce back. They're at home. They're desperate for the points, and they are a good side. But we stuck at him for some reason. We seemed to be right up for it from the word go, and we matched them. And that was what impressed me more than anything. We matched them. If anything, we had the more clear-cut chances in the game. There's some outstanding performances on the night. Coleman, it looked what I thought Coleman could be. Him and Ivanovic seemed to be striking up a pretty decent partnership. You could say the same about Billy and Casper in the middle of the park.
Yeah.
George Honeyman's come back full of running and don't stop. Even young Kundal, I've got to give him a little mention because he's not really a wide player, but he went out there and done a job for the team. And then we got Kramer moving back into the back four alongside Jake, and Lenny's come in and done what Lenny does, But all round, it was a good performance, good few saves from
Jensen,
especially the one that deflected off of Kramer that, he had to change his direction to save that. But I mean, to me, that all bodes well. To beat a side like Sheffield United on their own patch in the way that we did, I thought was impressive and fantastic win for us.
So, it was a great result. Evening, Debbie. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Yeah, it was a great result. It was buzzing.
I'd love to hear your thoughts on Portsmouth coach Mousino's comments regarding the stadium staff and officials not handling the use of discriminatory language. And I'll add to that, of course, we also know that Millwall received a bit of a clanger where they've been charged by the FA over words and language used at Crystal Palace. So there's quite a lot in the pot. And I know that you look at both sides of the fence, not only the fans, but also the players in this. What do you think about all of this?
Those in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. Look under your own umbrella or your own bench, for that fact, and create your own culture. I've been going to the Den since I was 4. My own nan watched my dad play. I can remember the great big dockers handing down the children to the front to watch the game. Millwall is a family club, and it's about inclusion, not exclusion, and it's everybody's game. The club has issued a statement. Use the club's dedicated Hear Hate, Don't Hesitate reporting service by texting HATE, that's HATE, and your message to 66777, or by emailing slo@millwallfc.co.uk. Use this service if you hear anything that you find alarming, and go forward to message this. Please don't put up with anything that's home and away. Use this service.
Yes, I couldn't agree more, Debbie. That's a way to deal with that if they are hearing and feeling threatened in any way whatsoever.
Eamonn, and I'll just make a quick comment. Certainly about the Palace chanting. Got no problem with the FA deciding they didn't like what we were saying or what the crowd was saying. But what I would say to the FA is go round to the Premier League clubs, and I know this for a fact, that chant that they was directing at Chilwell that we've got pulled about goes on in the Premier League week in, week out. And I know 100% for a fact it's chanted at certain London clubs every time Chilwell goes there, and has been doing so ever since he played for Leicester. The reason I say that is if we're fined, we're fined. But what I can't stand is the fact that we get fined and everybody else is ignored. If you're going to set a standard, if you want to be seen to be doing what they class as the right thing with what they're doing by imposing this on Millwall Football Club, then I say to the FA here and now, I will take you round to football grounds and you will hear that chant everywhere else. You make sure you find them like you're finding us.
Absolutely. I can say I'd take grandchildren any day, all the time to Millwall. And I, as a woman, so please don't say any different.
I completely understand your perspective, and I share your views. However, it's important that the FA applies their standards fairly across the leagues for them to really address this issue, instead of being picky and picking out clubs like us. Millwall acknowledges that what's been pointed out and agrees that this kind of language is unacceptable. Let's hope there's some resolution beyond it just being Millwall. Thanks very much for that. We'll take a break now and hear about our sponsor, G&M Motors.
Hi, this is Jess Tuffield from G&M Motors. Operating from a modern and purpose-built facility in Milton Road, Gravesend, G&M Motors offers a complete range of new Honda cars and services. As well as new Hondas, we have an extensive range of used cars, including ex-Motability cars from a variety of manufacturers. Specialising in new Honda cars, G&M Motors has been retailing quality new and used vehicles to the people of Kent and South East London for over 4 decades. We have been a Honda dealership since 1972 and are the country's longest serving supplier of this renowned marque. Conveniently sited just 2 miles from the A2, 10 miles from the M25 and Dartford Crossing, visitors to our showroom are assured a warm welcome from our experienced and friendly staff. Our facilities include an on-site workshop capable of providing full vehicle servicing and repairs, as well as an extensive parts department offering genuine Honda parts and accessories. The expertise of our skilled mechanics is not limited to just Hondas, but extends to most makes and models of motor vehicles. Whatever your motoring needs, visit us at G&M Motors today. The newly extended hours of our G&M headquarters means that you can contact us from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. on weekdays and 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. on Saturdays. To contact us, call us today on 01474 365 026.
Thank you, Jess. Debbie Julians here. Don't forget to call Jess on 01474 813562. G&M Motors have been dear friends with the Julians family for over 4 decades now. From my dad Lenny to me, Debbie, Lions together.
I'm your host, Eamonn Barclay, and with me either No One Likes Us talking team of Debbie Julians, Steve Warren and Ted Robinson. Many thanks to our sponsor, G&M Motors. Why not check out the Hondas and see what else they have on site at Gravesend. Our first guest is a well-known former Lion who graced that talented side of the 1970s that nearly reached the top flight. Southwark born, he arrived from Spurs in 1967. He played 245 times for us and scored 87 goals. That's not a bad rate. He then left us for the team in Selhurst, I think they are, for £118,000, which is currently about 1.3 million, I'm led to believe, in January 1973. Despite that, his memories linger within the fan base to this day. Please join me in welcoming the man that Brian King calls the Poss. Hello, Derek Possee.
Hello, Eamonn. Cheers.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hello,
Yeah,
Derek.
that's
Hello,
good.
Derek.
Hi, Derek.
Yeah.
Well, Debbie, I know. So,
Yeah.
Steve and Ted, hello. But Debbie, I know from way back. Yeah.
Way back when. Well,
Excellent.
we'll hear a bit about that, I think. I do believe.
No, okay.
Yeah. Derek, we're thrilled to have you back on the show. You're a firm favourite of the panel tonight, and in particular, as we mentioned, Debbie Julians. I noticed that before heading to Vancouver to follow your footballing career, you played for another former Lion, Barry Bridges, of a Dublin side called St Patrick's Athletic. How did that come about?
I got back from Vancouver
All right.
for the winter. The phone rings and it's Bridge and he goes, Poss, do you fancy coming out, fly you out every week, play until you go back to Vancouver? So that's what I done. That was great. We had a great friendship and we played really well combined together. So I went over there and scored a few goals and he scored a few and it was great fun. Yeah.
And not too far from the Guinness Brewery, I believe.
Well, it was funny. The first time I played, after the game went in the bar, as always, all the Irish boys, and I said, I'll have a half. They said, no, you're in Dublin. You get a pint of Guinness. And so I had to drink my pint of Guinness. Yeah.
And that's it, and you never forget it. There you go. Thanks, Derek. That's brilliant. Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
No, Derek, it's Ted here.
Hey.
It was great to find out, and I never knew this, that you grew up in Southwark. I'd love to hear more about your experiences in Southwark and how you developed your football skills as a child. And what led you to join Spurs?
We were just round, I always remember my address, number 1 Meopham Road. We were just round the corner from Manor Place Bars.
Yeah.
Well, we used to play in the streets, used to play 1-2s off the curbs and a couple of coats down and that was your goal. From then on, you just learned to play. And then when we moved away to Merstham in Surrey, when they built the new housing estates, dumped us out of London, we're down on the fields playing soccer all the time. I was playing for Surrey schoolboys, 15 years old, and we were playing South London in the semi-finals of the Home Counties Cup. And we were 3-1 down at half-time, and I scored a second-half hat-trick, and we won 4-3 and went to the final. Yeah. And there was Crystal Palace, Tottenham and Chelsea all invited me. And I always remember it. I went to Crystal Palace for my first tryout. After the tryouts, the coach said, okay, if I call your name out, you can come next week. And if you don't hear your name, thanks for turning up and bye-bye. Anyway, he calls my name out and I had to go up to him and say, I'm really sorry, but I can't make it next week. He said, what do you mean you can't make it next week? I said, I've got to try it for Tottenham. And he said, well, okay. And he crossed me off the list. Funny thing is, when they signed me from Millwall, I went to meet all the directors and that, and there was 2 or 3 of them still there, and they said, "We're going to get you at last."
Hi, Derek. It's Steve here.
Hey, Steve.
Hi. We'd love to hear about your journey in joining the Millwall team and your experiences with the manager, Benny Fenton.
Benny was a much better manager than people ever gave him credit for. I'm playing for Tottenham and Keithy Weller, both of us. And Keith, they're not going to sign him at Tottenham, and he gets signed by Millwall. And I'm good friends with Keith. We had a great connection in the game. So he's saying, "Hey, Benny fancies you over here. Why don't you come over here?" I said, "Well, I'm talking contract with Bill Nick." Anyway, so I met Bill Nick 2 or 3 times, and I wanted £5 more than they wanted to give me. And I said that I wouldn't sign unless they gave it to me. And he said, "Well, I'm not letting you go." A couple of days before the season started, he was like, "Okay, you can go." And I met Benny in Elephant and Castle, which is my domain around when I grew up. And Mickey Purser, and I met him at a Chinese restaurant, always remember. And we'd done the business and shook hands on it that night, and it was all signed, still delivered the next day. And then I played on the Saturday, and we lost 2-1.
Better times to come, though.
Oh, we had some great times there.
There's all those names, all memories. Hi, Derek. Obviously, it's Debbie Julians.
Yes.
It's so lovely to hear your voice. I'm sure you remember the lovely times when I babysat for you and Keith Weller.
Yeah, amazing.
Those days were wonderful. And the group of Millwall players all gathered around Iced Rise and Meopham.
I know. John Gilchrist was the first one there.
Yeah.
And then Keith went there, and then when I signed, I got a signing on fee of £1,200, I think it was. I thought I'd died and gone to heaven. And I bought a car and put a deposit down on a house at Iced Rise.
Yeah.
And because Keith said, "Well, come out my way," and he was round the corner. He had a bungalow. And we bought 100 Flower Hill Way. I never forget it. Yeah.
Name the address. I mean, it was really, truly special. It was everybody was there. And I'd love to hear your thoughts and how you remember those times and how all of those friends evolved over the years. I mean, it was just so many, wasn't it? It was just like the hub of Millwall, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, it was unbelievable, yeah. Because we've got Dougie Alder to come and live there as well. And, it was Dougie. I'm still friends with Dougie now. If I come over to England, we always try and get together and everything, yeah. And we connect to each other over the year. And so, yeah, that was it. We used to drive in together, and it was great. You know, it was a very special time. And, your dad and Brian Snowden having the car garage down in Meopham. I used to take my car down there and sit and have coffee and chat to them about their days at Millwall and that. Millwall's a very special club.
Special, wasn't it? All in that time, because of course, me babysitting for you as well.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. But you think about the players that Benny Fenton signed at that time. It would be millions and millions now. You know, he brought in some very good players. Alf Wood, there's Alf who played up front. Now, he lived in Meopham as well, at Iced Rise as well, Debbie. Alf.
Oh, right. Did he?
Yeah. He was a good centre forward. I go back to all that. People say to me, you know, who did you love playing with? I said, you know, I loved playing. I played with Jimmy Greaves and Dave Mehmet, Johnny White, Bobby Smith, Cliff Jones. I played with all of them. Philip Bill. We both came from Merstham. He signed a year ahead of me at Tottenham. And he stayed at Tottenham his whole playing career, basically. You've got to have character to play at Millwall.
You've got to have a love. You've got to have the love.
You do.
I'll tell you what, Derek, you scored quite a special goal down at Millwall as well, didn't you?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to say I didn't, against Birmingham.
That was one of the days when I liked you, Derek. I really liked
you. Derek, it's Steve again.
Yeah.
Who was the most influential player during your time at the Den?
Keith Weller and me, we were known in London with the other clubs, the players, as a dynamic duo. We played at Johnny Haynes' testimonial over in Fulham, and we walk in the dressing room. Eddie McCready, he goes, "Oh, here comes a dynamic duo." And it's always stuck. They used to call us that. He said, Keefy sets them up, the Poss scores them. Yeah.
Well, of course, Barry did later on, didn't he, for that goal?
Oh, Barry then knocked that ball through. Yeah. I've got that on my phone, actually, because people go, you scored a golden goal. I go, yeah. And they look at it and go, Christ, you could run as well. Yeah.
That was a bonus, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. It does help, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
I'll tell you what, Derek, he was a wonderfully talented player, Keith Weller. I loved him. I didn't mind you, mate, but I loved him. I thought he was quality, Keith, wasn't he?
He was brilliant. But I made him look good because I got on the end of his passes.
You did.
I've got to intervene there. I'm sorry. You were my favourite. Sorry.
Oh,
you told Brian King that the other week. What's going on there? Debbie, are you sure? And Barry Rowan? Oh, dear.
No, Derek was my favourite.
She's only saying that, Derek, because you give her a bit more money for babysitting. That's
yeah. Keith was a tightwad. Yeah.
Anyway, Derek, your final days as a football player were filled with excitement as you enjoyed 3 fantastic North American Soccer League seasons with Vancouver Whitecaps.
Yeah.
You played a key role in their incredible win in the Soccer Bowl in 1979.
Yeah.
What were some of your favourite moments with Whitecaps? And did it feel challenging to say goodbye to such an excellent career?
I was basically 36 years old. I went straight into coaching. I mean, I played until I was 36. Then I coached till I was 70. I worked with Tony Waiters with the national team and the Olympic team. And then I had all my own soccer camps and everything. And that was brilliant. I mean, life is so special. It's like it goes, and I retired at 70. and which was 9 years ago now. And I still love the game, and my wife said, football again, eh?
And what was it like with the Whitecaps then, Derek?
I came over in June of 77, and I think it was like July the 4th, something like that. We played the New York Cosmos at Empire Stadium in Vancouver. They were getting like 6,000 people to a game. We had a 32,000 sellout because Pele was playing, Beckenbauer was playing. Played against Pele was one of the great things in my life.
Yeah.
And I used to play against Beckenbauer, and he used to call me, the little Englishman. I used to always be like at his ankles and everything and chasing him around. And but Pele was special.
A star.
But Derek, it's Debbie again. Ted talked to Vancouver memories there. Focusing on Millwall and looking back, how would you describe your experiences from those memorable years with Millwall?
I learned the game at Tottenham and I played the game at Millwall. I became a player at Millwall. Keithy Weller become a player at Millwall, you know, and then you the Dennis Burnett's and Big Kitch at the back and Alan Dorney and Harry Boy. I mean, it was such an experience. There's so many characters in that team, you know, it was brilliant. I loved it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it always leaves its special mark, doesn't it, Millwall?
No, totally. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. I know with Daddy, his heart was always with Millwall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very special, isn't it? Very special.
It is. It never goes away.
No.
I mean, I played for Tottenham. I played for Millwall. I played for Palace. I played for Orient. I played for the Vancouver Whitecaps, St Patrick's, and Millwall is the one in my heart.
Lovely. Yeah.
Brilliant stuff, Derek. Before you go, there is Ted's Prediction League, and we'd like you to share your predictions for 3 championship scores. At season's end, we'll see who has the best score predicting skills among our guests, hosts, and all of us that get involved. So I'm going to hand you back over to Ted because it is his prediction league. He might even tell us what the prize is going to be at the end of all this, but he hasn't alluded to that as yet. So
it was first class ticket to the Millwall game for me, isn't it?
Well, I should think so. It's getting a bit worrying because there's somebody else that's after not a first class ticket to Millwall. They want a first class ticket to a pie and mash shop in New York. So there you go. We'll have to see.
I didn't know they had them in New York. Yeah. You've got to go to Menzies.
Yeah, that's it.
Derek, as I've said to everyone, I have no idea what first class is. I've never been anywhere near it in my life. So whatever that's supposed to be, I doubt very much whether you'll get that. But anyway, over to this prediction league. The first game is the obvious one. At home to Middlesbrough on Saturday. How do you see that one going? What score do you reckon for that one?
Well, it's funny because when I saw these, when Eamonn got in touch with me and he sent this to me, it was like Middlesbrough. We used to have some cracking games against Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to go 2-1 Millwall.
Love it. Well done, Derek. That's what I think I've said that, but I like it. I like it. The next one's a bit of a relegation battle from two sides that a bit of a surprise that they're down there. And that's Cardiff, and they're at home to Stoke City. How do you see that one?
I'm going to go with a 1-1 tie.
1-1 tie, yeah. I think they're both fighting, so I don't think there's going to be a lot in that. And the last one is probably last chance saloon for Plymouth, but they're at home to Sheffield United, who we beat the other night. And they've lost their last 2 games, but are desperate for a win. But how do you see that one going, Derek? Plymouth versus Sheffield United.
Plymouth against Sheffield United, I'd say 2-0 Sheffield United.
So, thank you, Derek.
Wonderful. At least we're in for a win. I'm delighted about that. Didn't we have some games against them when you guys were playing?
Oh, we had some great games against them.
Yeah. I think they used to be our biggest gate at one time in those days. We used to get the biggest gate. Yeah. Anyhow, Derek, look, thank you so much for being on the show. It's truly been a delight hearing your wonderful stories, and we look forward to having you back again.
I'd love to. That's brilliant.
We'll get you on.
Always love to have a little banter.
Yeah, it's always good, and we'll make sure Debbie's on because now she's devoted herself to you, and
there you go.
And disregarded all these other people.
That's until they come on, Eamonn.
Yeah.
He's my Derek.
Nice one, Debbie.
Yeah. Anyway, we wish you and Cindy all the best. So
thanks
take
very
care,
much.
and we'll chat again.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, cheers.
Bye, Derek.
Bye for now.
Lovely to speak to you.
Lovely to see you, Derek. Hopefully see you very soon.
Yeah.
Are you going over there, Debbie? That would be good. Yeah, that would be
Derek, coming over here. I'd gladly go to Vancouver, I tell you.
Yeah.
Well, you're always welcome.
That's it now. Yeah.
Yep.
Love to Cindy.
Yeah.
Yes, she's right here.
Hi, Cindy.
Hi.
There you go. There you go. How wonderful. Cheers for now. Bye, Derek.
Okay, bye.
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 Well, lovely to speak to Derek and even to speak to Cindy as well. That's relaunched a very valid sort of relationship that Debbie has had there with Derek over the years. Anyway, we'll take a break there and hear from Ellie Milliken. Hi, Ellie. Lovely to see you here up in Harvey's Den again. Tell me, what goes on? When are you here? What can we expect?
We're here Monday to Friday from 10:30 till 5 every day, open to the public. Everyone's welcome. We're open every match day from 11:30 till 2:30, and the girls up here are all lovely and friendly.
So what's on offer at the cafe these days?
We've got everything from chicken burgers to paninis to full breakfasts, tea, coffee, hot chocolate, soft drinks, snacks, everything you could need.
So it's all here, all available, a great team to serve it up to you. Well, what else can I say but carry on in Harvey's style here at Harvey's Den Cafe, and all the best to you, Ellie, and your team, and I look forward to coming up and enjoying some of the fare in not the far distant future. Well, in fact, I've already done that. The coffee is just superb. Thanks, Ellie.
Thanks, Eamon.
I'm your host, Eamonn Barclay, and with me I have the No One Likes Us talking team of Ted Robinson, Debbie Julians and Steve Warren. Harvey's Den Cafe is located upstairs at the Lions Centre, the Millwall Community Trust home in Ballina Road, 50 yards from the club shop. Great food and good prices. Now, let's hear from Ellis Barr.
Hello, Ellis here, and I'm glad to be back talking about Millwall. I know many have watched my videos. Thanks for your support along the way. It is now time to hear what all the Millwall teams are up to. Come on, Millwall!
Thanks as always, Ellis. Paul Loding brings us the Millwall Romans and Pride update.
Hi, it's Paul Loding at the Millwall Romans with a quick update for the week. So some great news to report. Both Romans and Pride have qualified for the LUL Cup final and Shield final, respectively. We had the semi-finals a couple of weeks ago with Romans facing Falcons in the semi-final for the Cup competition and Pride facing Phoenix in the Shield semi-final. Some both great performances. We played back-to-back on the games. And that means we're both now into the final of the two competitions, which is a great achievement from both teams. Millwall have very kindly offered us to play the finals at the Den, which we're looking to do on the 27th of this month, with Romans probably kicking off around about 2 o'clock and Pride kicking off about 5 o'clock, against Charlton. That'll be a cracking game to watch. And Romans are against Stonewall in the LUL Cup final. Just to report a little bit on the league, Romans are waiting for some results to come in. Unfortunately, due to a couple of points that we've dropped this season, we do need results to go our way. We still have a couple of games left, but no games for Romans this week. But Pride are playing away West Ham Memorial Ground against Soho Tigers at 3 o'clock kickoff. And just a quick one on the predictions. Great result from Millwall. They're having some really good results at the moment. This could be the year, hopefully. Millwall Middlesbrough, let's go. I'm going to say Millwall are going to nick that 1-0. I think Cardiff Stoke, Stoke will nick that 1-0. And Plymouth Sheffield United 2-0.
Well, thanks, Paul. That's brilliant stuff about the two finals. It's a shame that you gave some points away against that team from the London Borough of Greenwich. Perhaps we can invite Derek from Maritime Radio along to the Den so he can watch that game in that final. I'm sure he'd thoroughly enjoy it. Well, the Lionesses had a weekend break, but we'll update on what they're up to later in the show. And some of the younger sides done ever so well in the JPL competition that they participate in. Anyway, we're gearing up to face Middlesbrough this Saturday, and you heard much about that from Derek Possee, who I can remember really having some great games against them. Last December, we had a tough match at the Riverside, losing by just a single goal during a challenging time. In the last few games, Middlesbrough have lost to Swansea and Leeds, but managed to draw with Luton. Shows they've been trying to put up a good fight to stay on those playoff spots. Unfortunately, they have now dropped out after the latest round of results this week. With teams like ourselves hot on their heels, they will be feeling the pressure. Fortunately for us, there aren't many changes in our squad except Coleman being out since he's on loan from Borough and Tanganga being out due to a wrist injury. If we look at the odds, Borough, despite how they've been playing of late, are 5-4 to win at the Den. The draw is 2-1 and our Lions are 2-1 to win, suggesting we're in for a closely contested match. Just a quick reminder when we're saying what we think about the game and you're making your predictions, you and I cannot predict the same score. So what do you think, everyone? Are we hoping for a positive result or could it go another way? I'd love to hear Ted's thoughts first. What are your predictions? Ted?
Well, it's a tricky old game, isn't it? But Middlesbrough will be desperate after losing the other night. But we are on a roll. And I've actually gone with Millwall to beat Middlesbrough 2-1.
Fantastic. How about you, Deborah?
Yes, I know. Ted's gone with what I would have gone with. So, and they're currently 7th, looking to go in the playoffs, and but we are on an excellent run, and I'm going to go 2-0.
2-0. Well, there's some looking lovely results there then. How about you, Steve?
I think it's going to be a bit tighter than that, so I'm going to go 1-0.
Well, I'm going to go for my usual on these games, and I'm even going to name the goal scorers. So I'm pretty positive. I'm going to go for the fact that we're going to win 3-1, and our goal scorers are going to be Connolly, Ivanovic, Dinore. So watch that space because I shall have some money on that one. Right, okay, let's move on to...
Are we doing the Cardiff and Stoke?
What do you reckon? I mean, it's Ted's... What, are you going to do anything about Cardiff and Stoke, Ted? Or
I think we go for that one, Eamonn,
yeah. Oh, we do that one then. Thanks, Debbie. You reminded him. Yeah, okay.
First of all, I meant to tell you, Eamonn, that the goal scorers of my 2 goals for Millwall will be Langstaff.
Lovely, yeah.
You heard it here first.
Oh, there you go.
He's only 17-1 to get 1 goal.
Is he? Well, I might have some of that. He's due a goal, and I just got a feeling because Coburn's out, he might just be the man. Anyway, the Cardiff-Stoke game, I find it difficult to split these two because they're both desperate and whatever, so I've gone for 1-1.
So I'm going to go for the Cardiff-Stoke game. I'm afraid I think this is going to be a coffin stroke, and I'm going to go for Cardiff 1, Stoke 2.
I'm going Cardiff 2, Stoke 1.
So I'm going to go Cardiff 3, Stoke 0.
Ooh.
Cool.
And by the way, Cooper to score on Saturday.
Cooper to score on Saturday for them. Okay, right. Yeah.
No.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah. Fair enough. Carry on, Ted.
Next up is Plymouth and Sheffield United. Desperate stakes for Plymouth. They really do need a result. But then so does Sheffield United after the last 2 games they've had. So I think they're going to bounce back, Sheffield United, and I've gone for a 2-1 to Sheffield United.
Okay, and I've gone for a 1-1 draw.
Oh, gosh, you've pinched mine. Oh, dear. Oh, that puts it complicated, doesn't it? Oh, I'm going to have to go 2-1 to Plymouth, aren't I?
Oh, that's
We've left. There's not a lot.
You could go 2-2 if you was going to go 1-1, couldn't you?
Okay, all right then. You persuaded me. Let's go 2-2.
Okay.
Well, I think Sheffield United are going to bounce right back. I've got them as 3-0. I think.
Whoosh.
Ooh, yes.
Well, thanks, Ted, for being here and managing that, and for Debbie to remind you what you're supposed to be doing. So that's really good. But we also had predictions from Nick Wythe of the Facebook Millwall Sicily site, hopefully looking forward to his trip to New York to have some sort of pie and mash event. Let's hear what Nick predicts.
I love the way
Hello everyone, these are Nick Wythe's predictions. Millwall 1, Middlesbrough 0, Cardiff 1, Stoke 0, and Plymouth 1, Sheffield United 1.
That's pretty straightforward, and it's there. Thanks, Nick. We like to hear from you, and so does Ted when he's live on the show. Makes a difference for him. And we'd like to thank Dave Hart, who collates the results. And it's always a bit amusing, to say the least, especially since we can never make the same predictions. But now we have Phil Coleman's Tales from the Brut Room. This has a flavour of Dockers Day coming up, and it's an emotional response from Phil this week.
Hi everyone, Phil Coleman here with a few tales from the Brut Room. As I make this piece, it's the 9th of April, a year ago to the day since we lost my dear friend Dave Mehmet. Dockers Day, this coming Saturday, the 12th of April, versus Middlesbrough, is of course in memory of the club's history, of the Dockers and of those who played for the club. But this one is also going to be to remember Dave Mehmet. Lots of ex-players from 1977 to 1988 will be attending, including his daughter Alice, to remember one talented player, great son, dad, friend and colleague to so many in South East London. Dave was with me from 1974. He grew up on the Peach Estate, not far from Coldblow Lane and the Den. He was a local lad who made it pro. In 1974, when we were 14 years old, me and Dave were training with Billy Neal at Crofton Park with some talented youngsters. And by 1976-77, Dave had already made his debut, and we both signed apprentice. We both signed after playing for London. We signed as apprentices. We both played together in a successful youth team that won the FA Youth Cup. Dave played for the reserves, and his first team debut was solid. He was sold and returned for the 86-88 season when we won Division 2. And he's one of the youngest scorers to ever scored for the club. And again, it was priceless having Dave around in the FA Youth Cup. And we both returned, as I said, in 1986. But it wasn't only that. Dave was around me for my footballing career. We returned together, but he was also a good friend. He was a good family friend. He looks out for my brothers. He's a decent man. He supported people. He turned up for our family parties, and he was there when our parents died. He was the first young player from our youth team to get into the first team. And with that, Mem led the way. He busted through the door into the first team, and 14 of us others realised we could all follow him into the team. What was Dave like as a player? His ball control and his passing, he's two-footed. There's stories out there, and it's all true, how Dave could juggle a tennis ball for hours. He could do it for fun. Dave found space in a phone box. His range of passing with both feet, he was fearless. He had such a great attitude for the game. Dave got hit, but he just got up and he carried on playing. He was almost unstoppable, as Everton's Steve McMahon found out in the semi-final of the FA Youth Cup. He goes around Steve McMahon's spouting how he nailed a few people. I can tell you now, and so did the Everton lads, he never got near Dave Mehmet back then in those days. So Dockers this coming week on Saturday is going to be about Dave Mehmet and the history of the club. There's an awful lot of ex-players coming back, both from the youth team and the senior players from 77 to 88 to pay their respects to both the club and Dave Mehmet. Rest in peace, Dave. Thinking of you on this particular day, and see a lot of you down the Den for Dockers Day this Saturday. Bye for now.
Yeah, there's going to be a good few there, I'm sure, Phil. And Mem and the Dockers. What a great get-together. We'll take a break and listen to that young man, Harvey Brown, talk about the Lions Food Hub.
Hi, Harvey Brown here. I am proud of the Lions Food Hub, which is jointly owned by Kelly and Ellen Webster, and they have been supporting families within our community for over 2 years on Millwall match days. If you would like to donate to them, they have a match day donation hub by the SE16 bar at Coldblow Lane, end of the ground, where they accept any food or money and toiletry donations. If you can help, any donations will be received with thanks.
I'm your host, Eamonn Barclay, and with me I have the No One Likes Us talking team of Ted Robinson, Steve Warren, and Debbie Julians. If you're not attending the den on a match day, you can lead contributions at the Millwall Community Trust. Now, tonight we are thrilled to welcome back a familiar voice to our dugout. He is famed for making things happen and is at the forefront as the producer of the fans programme, the curator of the Millwall Museum, and as the coordinator general of Dockers Day. Welcome to the man they call Mr. Millwall, Chris Bethel.
Right. Evening.
Morning, Chris.
All right.
Hi, Chris.
Hello, Debbie. You all right?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Hi, Chris.
Are you all right?
Yeah, well, Debbie was obvious by her delightful voice. Anyhow, before I hand you over to the panel, Chris, it's been a while. I noticed you've been promoting the under-21s lately with social media reports. Is that another string to your bow?
No, I'm writing in the programme, obviously.
Yeah.
Most days. They play during the week.
They do.
So once I get any information on them that I'm putting in the programme, I just put it onto the sites.
Well, I think that's appreciated by a good few. So it is another string to your bow. So well done. Well done.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi, Chris. It's Debbie. Debbie Julian's here.
I spoke to your friend today.
Oh.
Who's my friend?
Derek Poppy?
He phoned me up this morning, yeah. He phoned me up this morning to make sure everything was all right. And he's bringing a photographer with him on Saturday.
Oh, is he?
Yeah,
No.
a photographer. And I thought, cool, that'll do. I'll have some photos for the programme.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's good. That's good. Excellent. Yeah. Well, getting back to just what I wanted to say to you is I wanted to share how much I cherish the book of the 59 unbeaten games. And it really does hold a very special place in my heart since it features my dad. I bought a couple of copies, didn't I? And one for myself and two for my grandchildren. And I know they're special editions, and it really does hold a dear place in my heart. And are you considering writing another book?
Oh, I'm looking at the shelf now. I think I've got 20 up there, all unpublished. Just like that 59 unbeaten, I'd done one for the finals, the playoff finals. I've done one with 400 photos of the old den. They was given to me by a fella called Tom Green, who in the 60s went round taking all photos of the den, even climbing up the top of the floodlights, and he gave me his negatives. So, yeah, I mean, I'd done that 59 because of COVID, and I was in touch with Tommy Wilson and Barry Rowan at the time, and we just talked through COVID. It just kept us going. So that's why I'd done that book, and it was all done electronically. That's why it wasn't published.
I mean, it is a very, very special one. If anyone comes to my house, I think I said it to you the other day, it's the band that I'm going to give them cotton gloves if they actually use it. I mean, it is so special. And to me, that will go through my family, for my grandchildren, and that will be kept in a very, very special place because that's a piece of memory of my father that is so special. It really is. And it's just everything about my dad's Millwall career. And it's sort of, it has all the programs and everything going through. And it is important that's sort of published and go through. But so do more books.
We've just brought out the Who's Who, we've just brought it out about 6 months ago. That took 35 years to do.
Mm-hmm.
The A to Z. The Who's Who A to Z of every player that played for Millwall since 1885. That took us 35 years. And it was only because the historians was dying. Jim Creasy spent 25 years in reading newspapers and writing all the stats down on the players. He died, and then we just made up our minds it's got to come out because we don't know how long we're going to last. And what with Ted Wilding passing away this season, there's only me and Dave Sullivan left, so it had to come out. And that's a great book. I think you're going to get that. Len's in it. Lenny Julians is in it, so you get that. You can get that in hardback as well. But
so where do you get that from?
Oh, I've got it. Well, it's Amazon. It's from Meopham. Meopham published it for us, but it's on Amazon, and it's not too bad. It's only about $9.99. When you think there's nearly 1,000 players in there plus photos, that's quite a good. And it's took 35 years to write.
Excellent. Well, it'll always be ongoing, really, won't it? It's like, a bit like the Guinness Book of Records. That will always be ongoing, won't it?
That's it. Yeah. Well, it's the Bible on players, but the breedings we've done with all the goal scorers, the crowds, right from 1885, all the matches. That's the Bible for stats, and this is the Bible for players. So if you've got the two, you've got a complete set.
Fantastic. Thanks, Chris.
That's unbelievable amount of work, Chris. I mean, Chris, it's Ted here, mate.
Right, Ted. All right, mate.
All right, mate. That's you've done well to get it in 35 years, mate.
Well, it was a lot of flasks of coffee and sandwiches, sitting 8 hours down at writing at newspaper house and the British Museum. And
I can imagine, mate. Well, but anyway, it's Doctor's Day on Saturday against Middlesbrough, Chris. What's the focus? What can we expect to see? Where's it all happening? And how and when did it all begin?
Right, well, it started 18 years ago, believe it or not, when I was 21.
18, really, Chris?
18 years it's been going. Yeah.
Jesus, making me feel old now.
Well, it started, it was Peter Garston when he became fan on the board, because his family were dockers. And Stuart, do you remember him, Stuart Till, our chairman then?
Stuart Till, yeah. Yeah,
well, believe it or not. And then John Berylson come in when we had the Dockers stand, and he loved, like most Americans, they love history. Yeah. And he would go down and shake their hands and talk to them and have photos done. And I've got so many photos of me and him with Dockers Day T-shirts. He liked a medal as well. So it's a tribute to John Berylson as well, because most of them years he's been involved in it as well. So...
what were you expecting this week, this Saturday, Chris?
Well, this one's a special one because it's for Dave Mehmet. Yesterday, he passed away a year ago. Saturday, in remembrance of Dave Mehmet, playing for Millwall in the 70s. He didn't, when they won the Youth Cup, then he come to the 80s where they won the league. He then became a coach and he brought players through in the 90s. So 20 years, it's a long time Millwall player, a bit like Billy Neal. He passed away. We got his family coming, his daughter Alice. We're going to give her a wreath. We got T-shirts made that the players are going to wear before the kick-off when they warm up to give to the kids. We got medals what we're going to present to the players in remembrance of Dave Mehmet. We're even going to have Mehmet on the back of the T-shirts. The players are going to wear Mehmet on the back of the T-shirts. So it's going to be a big day for Dave Mehmet. 15 minutes before the kick-off, we've done a video. The video is going to be showed on the screen. It's just talking to the Dockers and talking to me. You'll see my ugly face. So that'll probably put a lot of people off.
It's why I stay on the radio, Chris. Keep on.
That's right. Well, I wondered if this was on Zoom. I'll put my teeth in.
And isn't something happening in Harry's Bar or something? Or did I read somewhere?
Well, it's all changed. For 18 years, I presented the medals on the pitch before the kick-off. the Dockers and the players, and had a rally round, a cheer, and then that was over, and then that was it. This one is being organised, is no presentation on the pitch, no players being mentioned on the mic. I'm taking them from reception into Harry's bar, not going in the car park for autographs or photos. Take the Dockers through the door so they can sit down downstairs. The players going up in the lounge. But at half-time, the players are going to walk around the pitch with Mehmet's family.
Chris, what time are the players going up into Harry's bar?
Well, we're meeting at 12. Hopefully, we get them in there by 15:15.
And hopefully get them out before 3, Chris.
Yeah, that's lovely that his family is going to be there.
Yeah. Looking forward to meeting her. Talked to her over the phone. She's pregnant, so I've got her a car space. I'll probably have to give her a piggyback up the stairs.
Bless.
Yeah, but
it's lovely to be remembering Mem, though, Chris, because he, I believe, was the most talented player that came through our youth team.
Oh, yeah.
He was a fantastic footballer.
I met him at Great Yarmouth. Billy Neal had just seen him play on a Sunday. A few of us went down to Great Yarmouth because they was in a tournament, the 16-year-olds. Funny enough, I won the knobbly knees contest at that. And we had a cup. One of the Millwall fans, John Elps's dad, he filled the cup with Paul. 3 of the players, they had the final the next day against Crystal Palace, and Mims was one of them, and I'm afraid we all got a bit drunk. And he played in the final the next day. He was only 16, and Billy Neal never talked to me for a year. He was the manager. They lost 1-0. So I've known Mims a long time, and every time we see each other, we used to laugh what we got up in that holiday camp.
And of course, our Phil Coleman has just played a lovely tribute as well. And very touching day.
Oh, it'll be an emotional day, especially the players I've got, because they're from 70s, 80s and 90s, and they're all the people that sort of like was with him at the end. People who was getting in touch with me, so that because I was putting it on the official site, a photo and a bit of and a biography on the official site, and I was just waiting for him to let me know, because he was in hospital for quite a while. And then they passed it over and we put it all on the sites. But we didn't want to get it on too early and we didn't want to get it on too late. So that was a bit of a waiting game.
Chris, it's Steve here.
Steve, you all right, mate?
Hi. Yeah, all good. Could you tell us when, why and how you became a Lions fan?
Long story. My next door neighbour, he loves Speedway. He loves stock car racing. And he used to like to go in the Speedway track and then Millwall. So Millwall Saturdays and Tuesdays. I think it was like Monday Speedway, stock car racing. I was out greyhound racing. I was out all the time with the next door neighbour. I was his excuse to his wife not to take Chris down to the football and Speedway. And it worked. And I sort of like grew up with everything, all to do with New Cross Stadium and Millwall Football Club. And always remember Joey Broadfoot, because I used to sit on the wall. And I remember Joey Broadfoot being on the wing, smelling of white horse. Oh,
Debbie was after some of that, Chris, earlier on.
I tell you, but when you were a kid, there was like statues. They were, it was the white shirt with the blue band, but the smell of white. Is it liniment? Yeah, Jesus, the whole ground used to smell like that. That stays in my head, I remember that. And then when I took see Joey's in Old People's Home, by the way, right where the old ground is, in the Old People's Home at the Old Den.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's one of them. And believe it or not, this was a sort of Dockers Day. He was sitting in the terraces. We was having a Dockers Day, and I went to the players that was there. I said, that's Joey Broadfoot there. I brought him onto the pitch. And from there, he got he went up to the programme, he got a part in the programme, writing in the programme, and he becomes sort of like part of the furniture. And that was really good. And I used to talk to him about, about them days and what he got up to. And I said to him, write a book, and he wrote 2 books with his son. So that was all down to book writing, telling him I'm writing books, and then he wrote a book, and they're very good books. I'm looking at them now. A lot about Ipswich and Northampton, but a lot about Millwall. Well, I'll just give you a list. Reason being is because I've got the list out. Right, it's Andy Messi, Phil Coleman, Paul Roberts, Peter Glazier, Ian Gale, Dave Hockley, Darren Morgan, Sean Sparham, Alan McCleary, Dennis Burnett, Terry Erlock, Michael Marks, Alan Walker, Tony Kinsella and Nicky Coleman.
That's a nice group.
Harry Rowan will be giving them some medals in Harry's bar.
That'd be lovely. Absolutely lovely. Well, thanks for that. That's brilliant to know. And before you head off, it's Ted's Prediction League. He would be delighted to have you to set your predictions for 3 championship scores for this weekend. Now, I'm going to hand you over to Ted, and he's going to ask you, because he's here tonight. So, Ted, wait, is he? Didn't he speak to you? All right.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, well, there you go then. Over to Ted.
There you go then, Chris. Here's the 3 that I'll pick this week. Obviously, the first one's got to be our beloved Lions, Millwall at home to Middlesbrough. How'd you see that one going, Chris?
Right, I think that's going to be very tight. After the Portsmouth game, I mean, Middlesbrough, well, they lost didn't they? Yeah, they lost to Oxford, didn't they? Yeah. So, but I still think that's going to be tight. I think that's going to be a 1-1. Yeah.
The next one, Chris, which is a bit of a surprise to me, is it's a relegation battle, but 2 sides I didn't expect to be down here this season, but it's Cardiff at home to Stoke. How'd you see that one go?
Oh, that's the 2 draw teams, them, ain't they? I mean, yeah. I'm hoping Stoke beat them, believe it or not, because my brother's out there. And when I go to Stoke games, all my family, they're there. My nephew, we meet up and we watch the game. So hopefully, I'm hoping Stoke come through. But I think that's going to be a draw.
And the score?
What's the score?
1-0, sorry. Jack.
1-0. All right, mate. And the last one, a side that I don't think either of these sides can afford to lose for what they're chasing as it goes. I picked out Plymouth, who we know are rock bottom and struggling, against Sheffield United, who have been struggling and lost to our beloved Lions the other night. They both need to win desperately. So how'd you see that one going, Chris?
Well, I think Plymouth have had it. They lost 3-0 last night, didn't they?
Be a bit of a different side at home, though, Chris. That's the only from a comfort I'll give to them. They've been decent at home, but they can't do anything away.
Yeah. I can't see Plymouth winning that. No, I can't. I think they're finished.
What do you reckon the score then, Chris?
And I reckon it's going to be 2-0. They're going to lose 2-0.
2-0 to Sheffield United. Thanks, Chris.
Yeah. What happens if I win?
Ted's going to take you to Manzi's in New York with Nick with, okay?
Oh, that's it.
That'll be good. You'll enjoy that.
I'll keep into that. Yeah.
That's it. Anyhow, thank you for coming on the show, Chris. It's been a delight listening to you, as it always is, and we look forward to you joining us again. Here's hoping Docker's Day is a great success as usual. Yep. Last but not least, all the best to you and your family. Bye for now.
Right, bye for now. And don't forget 140 years next season.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I want to be on the show for that one.
Right, well, I think we'll do a special and you can go through the 140 years, yeah?
I thought you meant that's how long we've been watching Millwall for a minute.
Well, you need me to talk in October, because that's when it starts, the 140 years.
It is, you're right. Yeah. You're not wrong.
I'll start.
And we'll get you on Maritime Radio as well, and you can have a 15-minute segment on there talking about the glory of the 140 years.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. Right. So there you go. Bye for now.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye, Chris. Bye, Chris. Bye.
Thanks, Chris. Bye.
Bye, Tom. Ted, Steve.
Tom. Yeah, Tom's here and all. Tom's here and all. Yeah. God, dear, oh dear. Never mind. We'll take a break there and listen to Bethany explaining how you can support the Millwall Community Trust.
The Millwall Community Trust is something that I, Bethany Manctalo, admire for all that it does. The Trust was established in 1985 to provide sporting, educational, social and healthy lifestyle opportunities to the local community in Southwark, Lewisham, North Kent and the wider community. Its work is targeted at people of all ages, irrespective of race, gender or sexual orientation, and runs programmes aimed at tackling social exclusion, racism, knife crime, lack of employment opportunities for young people, mental health and disability. The Trust aims to be a progressive and campaigning charity that makes a difference to ordinary people's lives. Its work is undeniably essential to the local community. Donating to the Millwall Community Trust is easy. Visit their website and click on the Get Involved section. There are also sponsorship opportunities. To support this work, email commercial@millwallcommunity.org.uk. I'll say that again. That's commercial@millwallcommunity.org.uk. If you can, please help them to continue their vital work.
I'm your host, Eamonn Barclay, and with me I have the No One Likes Us Talking team, which is made up of Ted Robinson, Steve Warren and Debbie Julians. Tom is not here, just to ensure you're aware of that. Your donation will create a tremendous impact, enabling our Millwall Community Trust to deliver valuable programs for all age groups in our community. Well, we're all looking forward to the next game, especially so as it's Dockers Day. But in the meantime, there are a few matters of interest for Millwall fans and those interested in football.
Next week, Bethany Mangtalo returns to host a panel with Steve Warren, Dave Hart, and once again, I think it's the indestructible Stan Godwin, who hopefully is recovering well from the surgery he's had today in Queen Elizabeth Hospital. Get well soon, Stan, and hopefully you are on the show next week. And remember to catch up with our Maritime Radio live show featuring former Millwall and Republic of Ireland keeper Dave Ford. Find this on the Maritime Radio podcast section.
Yes, get well, Dan. Millwall Lionesses will host Ashford United Women on Sunday, May the 4th, with a 1:30 p.m. kick-off at the Den. That match will be the last fixture of the 2024-25 campaign and is a chance to show the Lionesses your support. The Lionesses are aiming for 1,000 plus in attendance. Tickets will be situated in blocks 41 to 44 of the Dockers stand. Tickets will cost £5 for adults and £2 for under 18s. They can be purchased on the Millwall ticket site in the events list or by calling the ticket office on 0207 231 9999. We hope to see you there.
Now, as we keep mentioning, Dockers Day is this Saturday, as you've heard from Chris Bethel. But just to remind you, you need to get to Harry's Bar for 12:15 when the players will be coming up into the bar and they'll receive their medals from Barry Rubben. So get there for 12:15 and you'll see them going around the pitch at half time. It will be a very memorable day, and there's a video that will be shown on the big screen about Dave Mehmet, who is being commemorated in this special Dockers Day.
On Sunday at 1:30 p.m, Millwall Lionesses will host Ebbsfleet United Women at St Paul's Sports Ground in the league. It will be a fiercely contested game. Why not get down there, give them the support they deserve, and help them return to where they belong?
There's just one addition. Ted touched on David Ford, who we had on the live show at Maritime Studios. His book is now out today. It's available on Amazon. Search for David Ford and you'll find his book there, Being the One. $9.99, or if you've got Kindle, it won't cost you a penny. How bad's that? Join the No One Likes Us Talking team as they share their thrilling updates from our games, whether we're at home or away, with the Lions, Lionesses, Romans and Pride. And don't miss out on the latest Millwall community news too. You can catch all this great content on Maritime Radio, and that's 96.5 FM, or visit their website. We're also excited to connect with you on Instagram, Facebook, X, formerly Twitter, YouTube, Tumblr, and all the favourite podcast platforms. A huge thank you to Ted.
Cheers, Eamonn.
And Steve for stepping in for our Stan, who had to go urgently into hospital. Steve, thank you.
No worries. Cheers, Eamonn.
And Debbie, who's enlightened us all with her new favourite player this month. Thanks, Debbie.
Thank you.
and everyone else for tuning in. Your support means a great deal. Finally, let's not forget to keep it safe on the streets out there. Good night, I suppose, really. Our Millwall Fan Show is sponsored by G&M Motors of Gravesend, Honda dealers and much more.